Caleb Williams. So fun, so exciting in Chicago. What are you hearing, Kimberly, about Caleb Williams this offseason?
Well, you heard it. You heard Colton say he's the man. And in Chicago, I can tell you, Caleb Williams loves year two. Because he even said last year he kind of felt like he was drowning. And now it's a lot more fun being in year two of this Ben Johnson system. Talking to people in that building, they say he's always confident, regardless of what is happening around him. But his leadership is off the charts, his ability to connect with guys. And also Ben Johnson, the head coach, said, listen, you see that he's very receptive to all the coaching points. And as long as Caleb and I are on the same page and we're speaking the same language, things will be even easier. And having covered that team last year in the playoffs, had they not run into Matt Stafford, who knows how the season could have been. They're trying to pick up right where they left off.
Took the Rams to overtime. That was a magical season in Chicago. One thing to watch, they did start 4 different players at left tackle last year, so Caleb probably looking for a little bit more consistency at that spot. Let's read.
Nothing to do with Matthew Stafford. What are we talking? You covered the team in the playoffs and then you say, oh, they hadn't ran into Matthew Stafford. Nothing to do with that. This wasn't some Matthew Stafford heroics. What are we talking? What are we inventing here? Nothing, absolutely nothing to do with that. The Chicago Bears had that game and should have won that game. The Chicago Bears playing better than the Los Angeles Rams. So, I don't want to hear that. So, if you think that the Rams were that special, then that great, well, then you better believe that the Chicago Bears were that special and that great then. So, also, home field advantage, it being that freezing cold, that bitter, that windy, that kind of hazy in the air, yeah, you get home field advantage and now you do have to go up against a warm weather team like Matthew Stafford or something, yeah, that's a big benefit. Like that is a big advantage. Making Sam Darnold come to you, making Matthew Stafford come to you. Like yeah, I think that goes a really long way. A really long way. So, that's also what that kind of showed me. But, yeah, I mean, I do think what kind of sets Caleb up for potentially even more success this season is that like Colson Lovin was kind of talking about like he is the guy. And I do think it's fair to say that there were question marks going into last season of whether or not H. E is the guy. Like you're still very much in the evaluation process. And I just don't think that's the case at all right now, right? Like he is your quarterback of the future. Now, again, I still believed he was the quarterback of the future even going into last season. But, I've said this before, right? Like the NFL is very much just like it's like the mob. It's like you're only as good as your last envelope. So, it's just like you really do got to truly prove you're the guy. And you got to show it consistently. We can say that Colin, for instance, was wrong about saying, oh, Taysom Hill is going to take over and that's why they paid that backup quarterback. We can say that those takes were wrong and even laughable. But, the sheer fact is that there was room for those takes to exist. There's zero room for those takes to exist here now, right? No one in their right mind could think that, right? And there were actual Chicago Bears fans that were thinking. I read the comments. So, like it just doesn't exist. And I promise you even the players were kind of like, alright, let's see what's going to happen, right? Like they could be like, yeah, I believe in Caleb. I believe Caleb could be successful. I like some of the things that I saw. But, it's just like you still got to do it. You still got to perform. You still got to rise to the occasion in the games. And now everyone's going to be sold and bought in. And so, I think that's also going to help Caleb become a better leader, have a more confident, grounded presence, and all of that. And so, yeah. I mean, I think we talk about continuity, and I talk about continuity, and then year 2 under Ben Johnson, and the growth and the development that can take place. But, it's also just the confidence and the comfort levels that actually get to increase as well, right? You don't feel like you're kind of looking over your shoulder. And there is an insecurity that creeps in when you're a young player, even when you're a veteran. Like, it's just, like if Steph Curry and Klay Thompson can talk about losing confidence in their shot, and how they have to kind of fight those demons. Like, if they go in a slump, we have to remind yourself of this will pass, and how great if they are struggling mentally in those moments of and having to wrestle with a doubt, Steph Curry has to wrestle with that. And he can still say things like, oh, I never lose faith in my, never lose confidence, in my shot. But, you're still having that internal monologue. You're still having that internal debate back and forth. Like, if it's happening to Steph, if it's happening to Mahomes, if it's happening to Brady, it's happening to Caleb. It happens to anyone. It happens to you, it happens to me, it happens to everyone. And so, it's just like being able to have a higher foundation and a greater foundation to even work off of from there. I think also matters significantly for this team as well. Also, same thing with Ben Johnson. I think you could see some of those moments when maybe probably trying to do a little too much in the game, and just having the confidence to just, trust what you have right there. Trust the players. Trust Caleb. Trust, trust Loveland. Trust, whatever you got going in any given moment. So, I'm really excited to see this team as a whole, the evolution, because you really do have a lot of young developing, whether it be coaching, whether it be, quarterback, tight end, wherever it may be. There's still so much more room to grow from just even a confidence and maturity standpoint. And I think sometimes we just automatically look at confidence as, like just not being scared or not choking in a big moment. And it's so much more than that. It's just how you interact with everyone. It's the comfort level in your own skin. It's admitting that you don't know something or that you don't understand something and that you need to improve in a certain aspect. Like so much of confidence is actually just admitting what you don't know. And not being insecure about it or not feeling stupid when you make a mistake. That's confidence right there. That's to me is such a foundational comp. One of being of true confidence is absolutely making a mistake, having one of the worst plays you could ever imagine, and it just means nothing cause you're like, yeah, whatever. Of course that happened because it's bound to happen at least once or twice a season. Are you kidding me? And it doesn't attack your soul where you kind of feel like, man, I feel stupid right now. Man, what is everyone else thinking right now? It's it doesn't matter. Right? To me, that's confidence. That's confidence. Not I never doubt myself or I'm never afraid in the moment because I know I can do it. It's that's not confidence. That's ego. That's pretend. That's pretend confidence. Confidence is yeah, I'm just comfortable. I'm genuinely comfortable. Not I'm comfortable. I know who I am. It's I don't even have to tell you that I'm comfortable because I just am comfortable. I don't even got to talk about it. Right? I think about this song, Real gangsters don't run, they walk. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Chicago Bears? Really the first time that they actually have a foundation to build off of, right? What that can do beyond just being more familiar with the system itself, the offense itself, the general growth and development that just takes place over time. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether why. Oh, you agree with me or disagree with me, either way let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.